everybody! Yep, once again, it's it's that time of the day, week, month, and or year in which I sit here, I record myself doing the tarot show. You've got the ability to be able to submit a request via email to nickdutchtarot@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to add you to the rota, and I can deal with your request and do a full, complete tarot reading for you. Today's date is the 15th of November, if my memory serves me correctly. That's at least the day when I'm recording this. And I've decided I'm crazy. It must be something to do with the fact that, you go shopping already, you're hearing the Christmas music, there's decorations up in the shopping centres already. I've started to get the Christmas decorations down. I don't know whether you remember it. I think it was last Christmas I did a tarot show video, and I did like sort of rather humble, rather gentle presentation style, so it was really rather good. But there was a problem. I had a lousy dose of the flu at the time, and I've been blowing my nose an awful lot, so there's like red marks there and there, because, I looked absolutely appalling. It was much more like a sort of like a zombie type face rather than a Christmas face on that day. But hopefully this year I'll be healthier, and I will definitely be getting you out more tarot shows as we approach the festive season. We've got a fair few requests to do, so I'll be cracking on with those, not a problem. Remember, please try and get the request through via the email address, which is nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Okay, which is a great way of making and establishing contact with me. I'm shuffling like crazy, but today we're having a bit of a change, and we're going on to the prediction tarot. Now, the prediction tarot is much more gentle. I think it's quite good for this time of the year. The colours have been described as being wintry. If you just look at the way they've done the moon card there, it's quite beautiful, serene, tranquil. I mean, there's some kind of like almost cut in stone feeling to the way in which the cards come out. If I can find it, the Emperor. Okay, the Judgment is another really good one, which illustrates what I'm talking about there. Just have a quick look at that and just see basically what I'm talking about. A very strong feeling of serenity, tranquility, and an almost religious feeling, even with some of the more basic aspects of the imagery. It's a beautiful deck. Okay, the pip cards are basically not much to write home about. They're incredibly boring. But on the other hand, for the most part, it's a very, very interesting deck. And as we're now in November, we're in the winter season at the moment, or at least we hope to be, if the weather goes our way. We're going to go towards a very wintry tarot. I'm going to go straight on with the next inquiry of today. Okay, Michaela, you asked a very curious question. You asked whether any blessings would be coming your way, blessings of any type. Well, the word blessing can mean many different things. I'll just ask the tarot straight out and see basically what's going to come through for you. Let's have a quick look. Now, taking into account that blessings could mean moving you in any different direction that could be very positive for yourself, I think it's rather appropriate that the Wheel of Fortune has come through for you. I'll very quickly show you the cards so you get a feeling as to what I'm talking about here. Okay, very simple, very basic spread, so I can't turn around to you and say, look at the colours, okay? But with the knowledge that we've got from using the Thoth Tarot, with the knowledge you've got from your tarot studies in general, the idea of shape, numbers, colours, suits, you can still pick up some pretty good meanings here. Okay, starts with a coin card. We have the King of Coins, a very serene, very beautiful, very authoritarian character, sitting there ready to provide advice and wisdom. But it's reversed, as if there's more in the way of difficulties coming your way first, prior to there being more in the way of success and stability. But the rest of the signs we've got within the first half of the spread are of a romantic nature. Alright? Now, if you are trying to get me to talk about pregnancy or expanding the family, I would not be allowed to read upon that. So even if that was a blessing you were thinking about, it would not come out in my reading at all. But what I am seeing is something stable, pleasant, and warming associated with your family environment. That much I will say. It is to do with a romantic connection, because we've got, a very powerful cup sign there as well. So maybe you're concerned about your finances, but essentially you're trying to get that sorted out. but it's the family unit which is the strong one there. But after that, there's a sense of variability and change. Just as we had a significator followed by 2 cups, we now have a major arcana followed by 2 staves. So that's a whole change in the energy of your life, moving further forward into the future, okay? With a sense of there being luck or extra news coming your way, which will change the way your life is going to go. Something inside me tells me that you know what this means. This is to do with someone who you will know and someone who will be close to you. Okay, Loco, you're curious about your relationship with this one particular individual. It looks quite interesting, but you want to make sure that it can move on to that stage, or whether you should just be friends. Now, I'm not the one to turn around to you and say whether you should just be friends or whether you shouldn't just be friends, okay? That's not within my jurisdiction. What I can do is I can see what the reading says about the relationship. We'll use a standard 8-card relationship methodology, still using the Prediction Tarot. Here goes. I love the idea of using the Prediction Tarot, as a celebration of winter. It's not really a Christmas celebration. I mean, if there was a Christmas tarot out there, it might be fun to get my hands on it and give that a bit of a playing with as we approach the festive season. But let's have a quick look and see what we've got here. Very intriguing. Now, the first thing I notice about this one particular spread, same method as normal, 8-card relationship reading, one for the force between the two of you, defining the relationship, which suggests some more communication is needed, and there's a feeling of there being some kind of frustration associated with the relationship right now. It's more communication, but not just verbal, is it? It's more a question of how you're making that bond work, how you're making your energy, so to speak, fit in together. But the thing that I really noticed is that on your side of things, very strong signs associated with balance, harmony, and a sensation that you feel that he should already be behaving in a certain way. But on his side of the reading, it's all much more powerful. We have the Star card, the Wish card. He is wishing for a relationship, very, very strongly romantic, but he's also got lots of other goals which he wants to try and reach as well, and he's concerned that his aggressive searching towards the goals might actually get in the way of the developments of the relationship. I feel he can be very business orientated, and that's good, because you don't want someone who's not going to work. Alright, you want someone who is going to work and is going to be quite good for you in that particular respect. Alright, he's been trying to look out for balance. He's not quite sure whether he is right for you at the moment, but he's going to give it a go. The Justice card speaks not only of literal justice, but also of making sure that he can behave in a way which will be right for you. That's an important thing to think about. I think he's actually quite anxious. The drive is there, but the anxiety is there as well, which means that he's not always going to behave properly, and sometimes he's going to go off in a complete strop because he doesn't quite get where you're coming from. So I don't think that you can say that by a certain time in a relationship the behavior should be clear cut. I don't think it's going to be like that. It doesn't look like it's like that in your situation either. Progression into the future is looking great though, but again, your short-term future signs, we don't have those nice squidgy juicy cup signs there. Instead what we got is like a kind of a mirror reflection of the forces between you at the moment, which makes me feel that although the conflict will be lessened, we're going down in the numbers rather than up. We're still in in the air suit or in the sword suit here. The feeling of conflict is slowly getting lessened. There is a feeling of interference there still, but it's not quite so substantial, I suppose. So it's slow progress. Don't expect this to be worked out straight away. I mean, you're asking whether this could or should be turned into the proper full level of a relationship straight away. Well, very difficult for someone like me to be able to say. The good signs, that's further on down the line. Just think about it. What have we discussed about the World card or the Universe card before? Alright, completion, wholeness, being in the right place at the right time. I mean, the World card in this tarot deck is an expression of the Book of Revelations. Right, the 4 living creatures praising God. Alright, that's basically what you've got there, but expressed in a very different way, with the divine figure in this case being a feminine figure. suggesting more a Holy Spirit connection rather than necessarily a male deity connection. How that works as far as a relationship is concerned is reaching that level whereby you're comfortable. And following that with very strong loving signs again suggests progression in the right direction, but not really settling down until a further 3 to 6 months have passed, or up to that time frame. So you want to have the decision right now. I don't think the reading is telling me you should have that decision right now. But you should make sure that your foundation is fine and that he can relax and you can carry on, building things up and making things nice and strong and healthy and great. That's what's the reading is suggesting is needed. Okay, Trisha M. You've got a relationship with a guy. It's an online relationship. You're very much in love, but you've got questions, basically. Okay, it's quite common. This is like the era of like the internet relationship, which is wonderful. And yeah, you can have very deep, very meaningful friendships with people across the water or other side of the planet, which is cool. Obviously, if there's some kind of issue with money associated with this individual, then you need to steer clear, because you shouldn't be, worrying about that side of things right now, if you get my drift. I'll have a look at the emotional side of things, and all I'd ask you to do is to, by all means, be cautious, but just try and do the best you can as far as building the connection up well. Alright, let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Remember, what you get and what you see is basically what comes straight out. Alright, straight out of my hand onto the table. Right, 8-card relationship reading, 1 for the force between the two of you, 2 for you, 2 for your partner, and 3 for short-term, mid-term, and long-term future. Short-term, mid-term, long-term future. Okay, you got the Devil card signifying the short-term future. What does the Devil card mean? It means passion, but it can also mean frustration. It can mean a sense of, oh my word, things aren't quite working out well enough, or, what's the word to describe it? Powerlessness. Something about this relationship is not progressing well enough for you to get to where you want to go, and you're feeling rather brassed off because of it, which I think is understandable. But again, quite good signs with the passage of time. The energy of the future is working itself out. I was rather concerned that finances could be an issue in this particular relationship. We got some money signs there. Be careful. All I'm saying is be careful. The reading is suggesting that you need to carry on being cautious, but keep on building this bond. He's not actually a bad person. I think that he's just maybe he's just made a few mistakes in the past. That's all. Okay. His side of things is showing him being basically literally a little young, but also very enthusiastic about life. I think he does actually have very good feelings for you, and I think you need to use that as leverage to try and get some clarity from him, and for him to start being direct with you, and that will help an awful lot. Whoops, just dropped one. It happens. This is live entertainment. Your side of the reading, the signs on your side of things coming out beautifully. I mean, look at that expression of the Emperor card. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, look at the colours and the textures and wow, Anyway, you're being described as being the sort of like the wise person who's very centered, very in control of your own life, but also with hope and aspirations, and you don't want to be defeated. Okay, you don't want to be defeated. You don't want to have negativity. So that means caution. You want to expand your empire. You want to use him as a vehicle to do it, but you're cautious. I think that you need to use his love for you as leverage to be able to develop the relationship bigger and better. That's essentially what makes sense to me. Okay, Ray from Minneapolis, Minnesota. How the heck's it going? Alright, you asked me a couple of questions, like is there a special someone for you, and how is your job, stroke, career, and all the rest of that kind of jazz going? Here we go. Just gonna shuffle like crazy, as I'm sure you know the way I do it. It's actually much better having a newer tarot that I haven't been using every single day for work. It shuffles much better. It flows more freely. It's beautiful. All right, but let's have a quick look. Chronological spread. So we're not doing the 8-card relationship reading methodology. We're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and basically seeing what what can come through for you. Okay, career-wise, that's good. But it looks like it's coming at a price. We got the Lightning Struck Tower. I like the Lightning Struck Tower. It often means a flash of inspiration. And that flash of inspiration is changing the way that things can work with you. I mean, to me, the lightning struck tower reminds me of a time when I was quite a young guy, okay, and I had a lot of prejudices against this one group of people because I was, I was a bit neurotic and screwed up. I'm just being honest with you about this, okay. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the company of these people, and I realized they were quite nice and quite friendly, and we had a meal together and sat down and a nice chat, and bam, it felt like this clod of earth was being taken out of my mind and being lifted away from me, and this new light was appearing inside me. That's one of the messages of the lightning struck tower. It's the old order is being taken away, and something new can replace it. All right, a bolt from the blue, clearing your mind, clearing the way forward for you to build a new future. And following on from that, we've got some excellent financial signs there for you. So the old order's got to be destroyed in order for you to get what you're looking for. What you're looking for is something a little bigger and better than probably what you've had before in the past. I mean, previously, I don't think you've been a nothing. I think you've been someone who's had some kind of authority. People did actually look up to you and respect you for what you were. That's why, essentially, you're being portrayed as being a king. Alright, you're someone who is in charge of something. You're not the emperor of the major arcana, but you are, a king within your own suit, within your own sphere of influence. And I think that's good. You've had to defend yourself or protect your position quite a lot, so it seems. The time of needing to protect yourself in this particular sphere is going to change within the next 12 months, so that you can start to get yourself sorted out in a new way of life. I'll quickly have a look to see whether that special someone is coming through for you. Obviously, we're looking out for love signs here. Well, the only bad news I'll give you is it's not happening straight away. But the Chariot card can speak of two loves moving in the same direction. And I'd say that that's talking about sometime in the early new year. So, name the first 100 kids after me. Okay, Red Lip Blonde. I'll have a quick look and see basically what's coming on through here for you. It's just, I know what your question is. You're asking about your relationship. It's already rather confusing and all the rest of that, but let's have a quick look and see what's coming through. Again, standard 8 card relationship reading methodology. Haven't yet had a request for a Celtic Cross, so maybe that's a good thing. I prefer to do, keep it focused, to be honest. Celtic Cross is very general. Okay, general readings by their very nature are general. And that can be a bad thing, because often people ask for a general reading when basically they've got a very specific question. So if you've got a specific question, don't ask for a general reading. It really won't help you, it won't help me. Basically you'll get a really crap service, so, don't bother. But on the other hand, if you've got questions to ask, people like me, you just get on the phone or you get onto Live Person, or Kasumba has now been resurrected. So you can go back onto Kasumba, go to the search box, type in Nick Dutch as all one word, alright, NICKDUTCH, and you'll be able to find my profile on the new Kasumba website, KASAMBA, alright, just so that you know, and then we'll just have a nice little internet chat and sort out the problems bit by bit. It's better that way. You've got a good relationship, which is quite stable, but essentially it's not really a loving relationship with the right quality and order right now. Their side of things is looking affectionate, but they're out of whack and out of balance. It's another situation whereby they sort of turn their attention away from you and search for something else to make themselves feel better. I'm not talking about necessarily any extramarital stuff. I'm talking about other things to make themselves feel better. It's almost like the kind of kid who doesn't want to play with Lego anymore or wants to start, exploring snowboarding or something crazy. This is a man who needs excitement somehow. So if you can work out what excitements he wants, then maybe that'll be a lever to try and bring you to a better path for each other, basically. On your side of things, conflict. But you are still the wise one. You're the grown-up here. He's the child. Remember that. If you get that balance right, whenever you're in any type of relationship, if you can work out who's the adult and who's the child in various different situations, that can really help you. I know that in a relationship I had, in some ways, I was really the adult, but in some ways I was also really the child. So if you got to understand each other and what each other's knowledge is, and try and get that balance right, and even discuss it with them to say, well, as far as let's say family finances are concerned, I'm the parent here, okay, but as far as motor mechanics. You're the parents here, so maybe we can try and get our skills together, and so on and so forth. Progression into the future, short-term, mid-term, long-term. Balance being restored is an important message for your longer-term future. Temperance means in a good basic measure, okay? Very important sign there for you. As well as, again, getting that balance right. I think you will always be the senior person in the relationship, emotionally speaking. And I think that, it's almost like it appears like there's some kind of aggression from this character. And you feel like you need to block, but you can't do it. Getting rid of them might not necessarily be a good thing just yet. There's still some hope there. And progression, I believe, can happen and it can work out. Okay, Frankie, you want me to read upon you and Alison because you want to approach her? It's that kind of like, oh, should I get the flowers and chocolates, or should I just say, hi, you want to go to the cinema? That kind of feeling. I like that. It's difficult. It is difficult, especially for someone like me, okay, because I'm a bit too overly sensitive and I think too much. And as far as knowing what's the next right thing to say, I don't. And I'm one of these people who's always up there, and I'm not really down here. And it's difficult. It's difficult. All dating is difficult. For crying out loud, we're supposed to have evolved, for crying out loud's sake. And what's happened? We find it difficult to go dating. We're supposed to be the most intelligent creatures on the face of the planet, and yet we find it difficult to go dating, for crying out loud's sake. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Right, progression. Not looking too bad. We got mirror reflections here on Alison's side of things. Ace of Cups. I think she's got that. She likes you already. She likes you already. That's good. You like her already. I think that's brilliant as well. But I think she's also got a bit of a fiery temperament at times, which you've just got to get used to. On your side of things, it looks like you have been the hermit, okay? For some reason, the reading is suggesting that you have been holding yourself away or holding yourself back. Have you been a fearful individual when it comes to relationships in the past? It's quite common. I was when I was younger. I'm not anymore. Now I'm a bit more, different. But never mind. Were you actually a fearful individual when you were dealing with relationships? If you were given an offer, did you sort of recoil? Alright. Something inside me says that there is an aspect of that which is the right behaviour, but there's an awful lot of it which is the wrong behaviour. And also the motivations behind the right behaviour and aspect. You've got to work that out, and the motivations behind the wrong behaviour and aspect, you've got to work that out too. To the most part, I think you deserve a good relationship now. I'm in a proper grown-up relationship with everything, all the trimmings, just nice. Do I feel that this one could be V1? Hey, you got all to play for. Progression into the future, not looking too bad. Nothing scary, nothing dubious. Eight of Cups, that can be interpreted incredibly positively, considering the way that the relationship spread has been lying. Yeah, approach her. I think that her reaction will probably be, almost as if she's been thinking of you. Almost as if she's just been thinking of you and hasn't quite worked out whether he is going to approach her. This is one thing that men find difficult to understand. Men think that they should just, approach a woman and then she will then reciprocate and everything will be okay. But some women think that it's only up to the man to do the approaching, when basically it's not necessarily like that. And getting the roles right is difficult for all of us, because we all think that the other person should be doing some things, but we don't quite know what that should be, and this is where the anxiety is. So we need to just come on, let's just put that aside and just talk. Alright? Talk. Talking is good. Communication, boom. Using your mouth, gesticulation. No, gesticulation, alright? It means using your hands to make gestures when you're talking to people, expressing your body language. That's what it means. Some of you people have got filthy minds. Alright, Manny, here we go. Let's see whether we can provide for you a wonderful tarot reading that's going to answer your question and see whether you've got the Mr. and or Mrs. Right coming your way within any reasonable time frame. something's just come through to me, alright? And that is that you've actually had some opportunities, but you turned them down. You've actually lost out on some relationship opportunities because you weren't reading the signs right. You're the kind of individual who needs to keep your scanners peeled. But let's see what the reading says. Right. After having shuffled very thoroughly indeed, we got some very good cards coming out for you there. The Judgment speaks of something which other people will envy. You one day will have a relationship that other people will actually be able to envy because you'll have got somewhere where they have not. Okay? The World or the Universe card again speaks about completion, and the Judgment does speak about envy because you're the one who's ascending and other people are looking at you and trying to hold you back. Do you feel that through what other people have said to you, some of it has been there to like restrict you or hold you back or not allow you to feel confident about progressing with communicating with people of the opposite sex? Do you think that that's part of it? Do you think that right now in your life is when you've got to untangle the wires that have been tangled up for you by other people saying, no, you shouldn't do it, or no, you can't do it, or no, it's wrong? You know, is this now the time when you learn to recognize, you learn to engage, you learn to, you know, move towards a goal and see how things can work out? Alright. Just a thought. But I've seen some signs there to say, yes, within the next 12 months, you're going to be in a good relationship. Not just a relationship, but a good one. Okay, Julie, you want me to read upon your daughter's relationship with this one particular young man in question. Right, I'll be happy to be a little fly on the wall for you here, okay? Obviously quite important. Let's have a quick look and see. So, what kind of energies we got here? This is interesting. Very interesting combination. Not all that much in the way of signs relating to conflict. They're actually getting on okay. Alright? But the energy associated with him is registered in the Strength card, which is speaking about a loving compassion, a very strong character who can act uncharacteristically in a loving, supportive way. Alright? To undo damage and provide stability, affection, compassion, and healing. And that's what he's about. You definitely need not be worried about him. Alright? He's quite a good individual. He might look rough as hell. He might behave garrulous or irresponsible. But my reading suggests he's a bit of a diamond in the rough. Okay? Kind of a crusader character. In a metaphorical way, okay? Trying to fight for what he thinks is right. Maybe he doesn't understand all the full airs and graces, or the right behavioral patterns, whatever they are, this particular era. And maybe he's from a dramatically different background. But on the other hand, he appears to be just right for her and her stage of development right now. Protective, strong, caring, healing. That's actually quite good qualities. Let her have him. And let her grow with that connection. And let him grow from it as well. He's already learned an awful lot from her. Alright, well, those are the ones we're doing so far. Alright. I won't be doing any more in this one particular tarot show, but don't worry about that. Don't fret. We're going to have like big one coming up for Christmas. I'm going to get decorations on the back wall over there, or at least I'm intending to. I know I sometimes like say, oh, I'm going to like have a space rocket appearing out of nowhere here. And I don't quite get around to it. But, I am planning on decorating the place for Christmas and making it look all nice and seasonal. And I hope you're looking forward to that as well, because basically when it comes to Christmas, I'm just a big kid. I just love the season. It can be annoying or frustrating or difficult, and the organisation can be difficult, and then there's always social embarrassment. But what the hell, it's a great season. and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And for those of you in the United States of America, I just want to very quickly say to all of you, Happy Thanksgiving for the 24th, isn't it? 24th of November. So if I haven't got a tarot show done by then, which I think I will have done. I think I will have done. But anyway, Happy Thanksgiving anyway. And I bid each and every single one of you good fortune, God bless. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Chill out, relax, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, a tarot reading is legally sold as an entertainment service for good, common sense reasons. I don't think you should ever see a tarot reader as being your final decision maker in your life, because you are the producer, director, editor, you are the production company of your own life and the movie of your own life, and on top of that, you are the starring actor and or actress in this wonderful movie. If you don't like some aspects of what is going on in your life, you pan your camera to a different direction and start the movie anew. I wonder where I heard that from.